Most underrated privilege in life is the gift of a friend. One you can text anytime and be like, hey, what are you doing? Let's hang. Or, hey, I'm in town. Anything cool happening? And that friend invites you to the dinner party they're hosting the next day. Plus a slew of other events happening. That's bonus. I was reminiscing recently just how happy I am to have community and to have friends these days. In high school, I felt like an outcast, and even in university, I kept to myself. One of the things I love about living on a commune, or even in New York City, or any city for that matter, is the frequency at which you bump into people. And through low stakes, frequent interaction, you can build budding relationships. For example, I met Jillian a year ago, who's, we've been following in this video. But I met her through a friend I met at a land trust. I learned about her work in the community and co-living space, something I was deep into the rabbit hole on myself. When I invited them to a communes gathering, they suggested I write about it for their publication, which began the increased frequency of back and forth between us, of collaboration. While work isn't life, collaborating on something with someone, in my experience, has been one of the highest odd ways of deepening a relationship. It gives you a shared purpose. It gives you a sense of each other's characters. And then you birth something into the world together. I'm sure there's some scientific paper out there already that has some mild correlation between being parents of something. Dinner parties are another great way to build community in your life. And sure, the backdrop of this video is in a fancy Chelsea apartment, but you can do this anywhere. One of my favorite communities called Fractal. It's a 1,000 person network and a cluster of 70 people living in close proximity started as a weekly dinner party. While the effort depended on the mood, without fail, every Friday 6 to 10 people would gather. They would do potluck, sometimes they'd order Thai food with a shared Venmo, or maybe someone felt like going full Salt Bae and pulled something wonderful together. Sometimes the apartment would be very messy. In fact, most of the times the apartment would be messy. But what people crave is connection, not a high production value dinner. Jillian wrote this article, The Art of the Half-Ass Potluck. The number one rule is basically to not make it hard on yourself. She included this quote from Priya Parker, and it goes, just start. We're all sort of sitting there being like, I wish I were invited. So host. One of the most powerful ways to begin to feel like you belong to a place, especially if you move to a new place, is to host. And I couldn't agree more. A lot of people reach out to me on Instagram, a place where I talk a lot about intentional communities, asking how to get started. I tell them these words, very similar to Priya Parker, and they often respond being like, oh, well, my apartment's too small, or, oh, I live with my parents, they wouldn't allow it, or, oh, I don't know, and and my response to them is like, then go to a park, or find a friend who has the place and is down to co-conspire. By the time you've hosted your first, second, or maybe even third meal together, but honestly, I think this will happen on the first meal, someone will have a space and see the vision. If they're unreliable, then open up to the invite list on the potluck. Like, hey, Bob can't host this week. Is anyone else down to host our weekly dinner? Just do it. Because honestly, once it's in the calendar, people start expecting it. People start showing up. It becomes routine. It becomes ritual. And honestly, like, we all just want to be with people. As adults, we lose so much human connection. When we all lived in villages, like way back in the day, and there may have only been enough energy and infrastructure to concentrate food prep in a few areas. That could be a tavern, that could be one person's kitchen. Usually a lot of people were living on one piece of land together. And because of that, everyone ate together. Sure, it was out of necessity, but it was also just better to be. I mean, it's biblical, that old book. There's so much reference to breaking bread together. In fact, it's almost foundational to communion. But it's like one of these things that we've forgotten because I guess we all have our own apartments with our own kitchen, if you have the privilege of that. Or, whoever you're living with or whatever your situation is, our environments have designed ourselves to isolate ourselves. But it's just as important for people with kids. I get this a lot from families too, like, oh, well, I have kids, I don't have time to be with my friends anymore. Why not have a weekly potluck with your friends and their kids and allow your kids to be socialized? If you're not sure who to invite for your dinner party, there's advice I got from Priya Rose, which is basically just look in your messages app. Who have you been talking to recently? Who have you felt good vibes with? I'm sure they'll be happy to come. You can just say, hey, I'm trialing something new. If you have any cool dinner party thoughts, maybe prompts you use, ways that you organize, please comment and let me know below. And for those of you who made it this far in the video, thank you so much. My name's Morello. I visited 45 communes, co-living houses, deep communities in the last 2 years, and I've been posting a lot on Instagram. This is my first ever long form video in 4K. I just got a camera, so thank you for being part of this experiment where I'm basically just trying to edit this damn thing and see how it turns out. So thank you. I invite you to subscribe if you want to learn more about communities and alternative ways of living, and I'm going to be publishing case studies and just other really things to live a meaningful life.